There are some pieces of writing advice that you will hear all the time. One is to have a newsletter, and another is to have a newsletter magnet. Today, I will be taking you on the journey that I went through to create my newsletter magnet, the Indigo Princess Diary. If you're new here, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caitlin King and I write YA, Christian fiction, and fantasy. So if you like those kind of books, stay tuned. I'm doing something new in this video where I'm filming as I record the audio that I usually use over the top of some B-roll. I'm still very new to my YouTube channel. A few of you have mentioned that the music is overpowering my voice. And I'm so sorry that I'm still struggling with that. I haven't quite figured out how to master that. I use Canva, and that might not be the best system for this, but it's what I know. So please have patience with me as I learn. Thank you. With that said, back to the show. I started a seasonal newsletter in 2022. For the first year, I gave away a book with each newsletter. Well, that got expensive fast. I knew I needed to heed the advice of having a free short story to give away, which in the writing world is referred to as a magnet. But for the longest time, I didn't know which story I wanted to tell. And then finally, I had an idea.
Cobwebbed bookshelves sharpened in her vision. She took calculated steps toward them and inhaled deeply. The scent of dust hung in the air, and moths danced in the dim light pouring through a dingy, stained glass window. Her fingers trailed across the forgotten tomes as she read the cracked spines. Finally, she spotted a title that intrigued her: The Indigo Prince's Diary.
I decided I would create the diary that Emmeline found in The Forgotten Prince, and simultaneously tell the origin story of Endor. I announced this idea in the winter newsletter of 2023, and it took me an entire year to get it done. Here is the journey that I went on. I know two things about this project. One, I know the basic concept of the beginning of Endor from what I created in The Forgotten Prince. The funny thing is, I remember telling my mother about the backstory when I came up with the original idea for More Than Conquerors. She asked me, "Why don't you just tell that story?" I laughed because all stories have a backstory. If you tried to tell the origin story of every story, you would never get to the end of it. But then I realized that someday it would be fun to tell it. Now I get that chance. And number two, I want this to be in a diary form with fun illustrations. I turned to Canva to help me as I designed the diary.
Back to the Rainbow Knights, who I'm sure you're familiar with, Zoran explained, referring to the founders of their kingdom. Well, of course, Triton nodded. Oh, I grew up at the Lazarus Monastery. Every child of Endor had been taught the story of how Prince Darien and his faithful knights had been able to miraculously rescue the monastery from raiders. The disciples had later christened them the Rainbow Knights and awarded each one a color. Back to...
It really shouldn't have surprised me that I did not have time to work on this project over the past few months, with a book release and a move. All I could offer my newsletter subscribers was a cover reveal. This cover was different from the others in the series because I wanted it to look like a genuine journal. I even decided to just sneak my name into the details rather than put it obviously on the cover and ruin the illusion of a diary. In this season's newsletter, I had to apologize again that the book wasn't finished. But this time it was because of some major health issues that I've been confronting. One of the hardest parts of being an indie author is setting my own deadlines and not realizing how much time it will actually take me to work on things. It's hard to juggle a full-time job, a writing career, and an overall change in health. I'm really appreciative of my subscribers who support me and are willing to wait for this story. My focus has been consumed with getting More Than Conqueror's Book 3, A Year of Miracles done and to my editor. I've worked on the diary here and there, but I'm only halfway done at this point. That's right, I'm in the muddy middle. On the other hand, if you want to know more about Book 3, A Year of Miracles, I have a full YouTube series about how I created it, and I'll link it here and down below. I am determined that this will be the last time I tell my newsletter subscribers that the diary isn't finished yet. A Year of Miracles has come out, and now I will prioritize finishing the diary before the next newsletter. Of course, I'm going to start this after Christmas, though. I have finished it! As always, I sent a copy to my friend Natalia to review and catch the mistakes that slip through the cracks, and I can't wait to get her reaction. I've got mail, I've got mail. Natalia has finished reading it and has sent back her recommendations. It's a good thing she didn't use red ink, or I would think my book was bleeding. How do so many mistakes manage to hide from me? I'm thinking I might set it to the side for a couple of weeks while I work on other projects and let my mind ruminate over some of the issues she brought up. Mainly the fact that I went from Prince Dorian saying he didn't want to be the leader of Endor to him leading the charge and agreeing to become the first prince on the next page. In my mind, I've been leaning on the fact that it's a diary in diary format, which means some things don't get recorded. But she's right. I need a turning point. So I have been doing a lot of brainstorming lately. There is a collection of fairy tales that I have been trying to join. At first, my thought was to use a story from the Christmas Realm Chronicles. I came up with a short story for it that would reside in that world. And then I realized that the prompt asked for no magic. I double-checked my concept with them, and sure enough, it wasn't going to work. So I started brainstorming again. I wondered if I could connect a fairy tale to More Than Conquerors when it was not any sort of fairy tale retelling. This idea bugged me for a while. And then I got an idea for a Robin Hood retelling that would fit into the history of the world. The more I thought about it, the more I liked the idea that the characters of More Than Conquerors were descendants of legendary stories. If I was honest with myself, the Indigo Prince's Diary had a lot of similarities to the legend of King Arthur. It could be considered a very loose retelling. The only thing I was missing was a sword in the stone moment. Therefore, that is what I will add to fix that turning point. I am amazed how many nods I already had to the legend of King Arthur in this story. It starts off with a love triangle that he loses. I changed the brother's name to Lance so that it would go with the story. A more potent nod, if you will. He has 3 knight friends that start his journey with him, and each of them had a parent named after one of King Arthur's knights. No, that was not intentional in the beginning. I just thought it would be fun. Later, we meet a new love interest for him. Her name was Gwyneth, which I got from Guinevere. I changed the name of the influential disciple to Merwin so that we had that nod. And then I had him give Prince Dorian a sword, which fixed that plot hole that Natalia pointed out. As a final nod to the story, I had him name his son Arthur. I am now very pleased with this loose retelling. I have learned something. I couldn't figure out why KDP would not let me upload the book in color. I really wanted it to be in color so that the pages looked like old diary pages and not gray. Finally, I realized that it needed more pages. 5 to be exact. While not completely back to the drawing board, I did have to come up with a few more ideas to add to the story. Finally, I got it uploaded and I ordered a proof copy. I can't wait to see what it looks like. In order to send e-copies safely to my subscribers, I have decided to experiment with BookFunnel. I'm completely new to it and a little unsure of how to use it correctly. At first, it took me a few attempts to convert the file into an EPUB file and set up a landing page. I'm hoping it will all work out so I can send it to my subscribers with this week's email. Fingers crossed. Look what came in. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm so glad I was able to figure out the color of the pages. It really makes it look real. With this final check, I'm all set to upload the e-copy onto BookFunnel and attach the link to my newsletter. It is the first day of spring, and my newsletter is officially out. I am beyond thankful that my subscribers had patience with me while I worked on this project for them. If you haven't joined my newsletter yet, click the link in the bio and you too can get this diary for free. I'm going to end this vlog by letting you know that the physical copy will be available on Amazon soon. As has been a habit lately, I hit publish on Amazon on KDP, and even though all the proof copies came back fine, everything looked great, it kicked it back and said there was a problem with the spacing. Someday I'll get this figured out. Not sure when that will happen. It's been in a different format than I've used before, so I'm not sure if it'll be as easy as a fix as I've had in the past, but we'll see. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so the algorithm knows to show you more. Thanks for watching. Bye. I'm doing something. Woo! What did I do? I'm doing something new in this video, which is I'm filming in the same area that I record my audio. That sounds stupid. No, that's not. No,